In this week's video, I'm going to talk about how you create a life worth living. And yes, this is a big topic, but I think it directly relates to the call to be an entrepreneur and starting your business. And this is why. For a lot of us, and for most people, I would say their biggest fear is death, and maybe not death itself, but the fear of dying before they live a purposeful life. Okay. And for a lot of us, that's obviously why we want to, we're like, we have something to do. I'm not done yet. Like, I still have more things to accomplish. And that really goes to creating a purposeful life. And so for many people, like, that biggest fear is like, oh my gosh, what if I don't do that while I'm here on earth? And so how do you live fully? My belief, just from my own journey and, lots of research and kind of diving into this, because it was something I think I really wanted to know too, like, what's our purpose? Why are we here? And so I really, truly believe that our purpose here on earth is that we get called to do certain things. And this is really like our vision, our goals for ourselves. And our purpose is to follow that call, to do those things, and to go through the inevitable challenges that we're going to have to face when we follow that call to do these certain things. And why that's so important is because it is that journey and the person that we come through that process of going on that journey and overcoming those challenges. That's really what we're here for. We're here to evolve as a soul, as a person, and to make those things happen that we want to have happen in our life, to have those experiences that we want to experience, to make the impact that we want to make on the people around us, on our community, on the world. So that's what I'm going to dive into today. Okay. So I'm going to go through like really some steps and some things to think about that I think are going to really help you if you're like, how do I live a purposeful life? How do I live life fully? And so first of all is really knowing like, what is your vision for yourself and your goals? And what do you want to make happen in your life? And to dream big. Like, most of us really limit ourselves because we're like, oh, that's not possible, or I should just be happy with this little life that's super simple, and I want to be a minimalist, which, not being that minimalist is bad, but what do you really want? What do you really want to be doing? What do you really want your life to look like and feel like? Like, dive into that. What experiences do you want? Don't sell yourself short. So that's step number one. Really dive into that, and I would write it all out, journal on it, super important. And then the next step is making it happen and overcoming those challenges and going through that transformation. Okay. And the reason that this really came up for me is I was reading a book recently. It's called A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Like, super good. It reminded me like of Harry Potter, which I love. I've read like 3 times. But the thing about this is this really goes into this, right? Like, it's a journey that someone's going through to overcome these challenges, to make a big difference in the world, to become the person they're meant to be. And this really goes into a hero's journey, which it's Joseph Campbell has talked about that. If you're interested in learning more, like, just Google it and you can find a bunch of information about the hero's journey. But I'm going to kind of walk you through these steps. And it just really made me think about like living a life worth living. And a lot of times any book we read, any movie we watch, like, really goes through this hero's journey. And this is really what we go through in life, or what we're meant to go through if we really want to live like an exciting, purposeful, fulfilling life. Okay. So I want to just kind of walk you through the steps of the hero's journey. So the first step is really like you get this call to adventure. So for like a business, you may be feeling called to start a business, right? And then there's always reluctance or the fear of the unknown. So anytime you get called to do something, a lot of times there's like, oh, can I really do that? It's really scary. There's a lot of unknowns. What if I can't make it work? And then often we get wisdom or encouragement from others if we look for it, right? So once again, this could be a coach, this could be other people who are like, yeah, go for it. Someone who's going to kind of be that sounding board and help give you maybe some wisdom or some steps to take. And then we make the commitment to make it happen. Nothing's going to happen unless you commit. So commit to going on that journey, commit to doing that thing. And then there's going to be trials and failures. There's going to be things that you do that don't work. It's going to be challenging. And that is part of the journey. And then you are going to face your shadow self. So this is one of the reasons why I really love helping people with starting a business, because it is going to throw your shadow self in your face. And by your shadow self, I mean your fears, your doubts, your limiting beliefs about yourself. If you want to be successful with your business, you are going to have to face these things. And this is super powerful because it makes you a better person and it makes you a stronger person and a more confident person when you face these things. Most people aren't willing to because it's confronting, it's challenging. But if you are, this is what is going to allow you to move forward and to transform as a person, okay? And then that person goes through a transformation when they're willing to face those shadows. And this, what really happens on the other end of this is self-mastery and awareness, okay? And I can stand behind that 100%. I think any challenges that I've gone through, like I've gone through this whole hero's journey with it, right? But definitely with my business. And I am a different person now, having gone through the process of starting and building my business. And I continue to transform through that process as I grow my business. But by having gone through this, saying yes to the call, committing to the call, and going through and transforming, I am a totally different person. I'm still me, okay? But a much better version of me, I would say. So really, it's the question of, are you willing to face the fear and take the chances and get uncomfortable, those things that you really need to do to go on that journey, the journey of getting the things you want in life, to starting the business if that's something you're feeling called to do and that's part of your vision. Are you willing to take the chances, and are you willing to fail? Are you willing to maybe not have everyone approve of you going on this journey because they're like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, what if it doesn't work? What if nobody signs up? All those things, all those doubts. So I would really tap in and ask yourself this question, like, what do you want? And do you want a life that is safe and boring and easy and you don't really have to think about it? You're just going through the motions. Every day looks exactly the same because you're never trying to do new things. You're never going after those things you really want. Or do you want a life that is a story worth reading? That's interesting, that's exciting, that's challenging. And when you think about it this way, I think it really shifts your perspective. And it's just like, okay, it's okay to do those things that are hard. It's okay to do those things that I might fail at. I'm going to invite those things in because they make my life worth living. They make my life interesting, exciting. And that's really what we're here for. And when you go through and you make those things happen, that's when you transform and you become that better, stronger, more confident version of yourself. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know, which do you prefer? Do you prefer a life that's safe and where you're not going after your vision for yourself? Or do you want to create a story that's worth reading for your life? That story. Do you want something where people are like, awesome, you've done all these amazing things, way to go. Even if you failed, even if it didn't work out exactly how you wanted it to, like, awesome, way to go for it. And I would ask yourself that. And like I said, let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do new videos each week. And if you want to dive deeper into the steps of creating your business, getting those clients, boosting your confidence, I have an amazing training for you. I will link it right below this video. So I want to thank you so much for joining me in this week's video. Let's go out and create lives that are a story worth reading, okay? I will see you next week.